Hey friends, Megan McIntosh here. Welcome to this week's video. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying a lovely day, a lovely Tuesday in February. This piece of hair is sticking out. Very dry out here and chilly, cold, snow still on the ground, but it's not too bad. I want to talk about mindset, mastering your mindset wobbles, and how to know what is going on when you are procrastinating or when you aren't getting things done and how to overcome them. So everybody talks about mastering mindset, but it's a little bit easier said than done, right? So that's why I want to talk about this, because I think it's really important to always kind of do a checkup of our mindset and figure out ways that we can overcome our self-sabotaging behaviors, our limiting beliefs, or the things that we do just unconsciously because we're humans. So if you're there watching right now, let me know, say hi, drop a 1 down below in the comments. If you are watching right now, you can drop a 2 down below. If you're watching the replay, let me know where you are coming in from, what city, what town, what country. I made a salad. I ate early today. I'll just show it to you. It's a breaded bocconcini bites with mixed greens and pickled red onions. And I do these things called, this is chef's plate. Look at my salad bowl. It's literally like the biggest salad bowl in the whole history of salad bowls. It's actually a mixing bowl, but I was a bit too lazy to put in a proper salad bowl, so I put it in my large size mixing bowl, because literally I had to use 3 different bowls to make this salad. But one of the things that I love is that has helped me through the pandemic is getting pre-organized food delivered and then making it. It's made me become a better cook, and it's small portions, and I use Chef's Plate, HelloFresh, and Good Foods. And what I do is I just look at the menu each week and then choose which ones I prefer for that week, and then I order, and then I just put the other ones, cancel the order for the week, because it's all auto ship. So I love it. I love it. I'm hungry, and I was hungry early today. So I was cooking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's after 5. I better get on live. There's another one I do. It's a vegan delivery called Green Zebra. And it's not, you don't really cook it in terms of have all the ingredients and make something. It's already pre-cooked. So you just re-warm it up. So I also that's what I first used in the pandemic, and I still use it a little bit, not as much. So anyway, that's my food of the day. Just why not share that with you? Okay, so let's talk about mindset. I feel that this is something that does take daily work, because you could have an excellent mindset one day, and the next day you're tired, you got on the wrong side of the bed, you have your period, you're grumpy, your partner's grumpy, the weather's crappy, something's going on with your kids. Like, there's always going to be something in your life, and that's why it's so important to look at your mindset, because we're human beings in a world where things happen, right? Things happen out of our control, and we can be as proactive as we want, but at the end of the day, things happen randomly, and we can't prevent them from happening, and sometimes that puts you off course of what you're going to be doing for the day, or you just get frustrated or upset. Like, you could be walking down the street, and I don't know, it's the winter, so let me think of an analogy here. Someone could be driving by, get you all snowy and wet, and you're like, what? Now I have to go home, wash it off, put stuff in the dryer. Like, it takes time out of your day. Today, when I was making the bocconcini bites, I almost spilled. What was I thinking? I had my olive oil, and I went over to the oven, and I almost spilled the whole thing, and I didn't, but my imagination was literally saying, oh my gosh, imagine I spilled that, and I wouldn't be able to go on live, because it would take me half an hour to clean this up, and I wouldn't be on time, and it would be just a mess. So it didn't happen, thank goodness, but these are the things that happen, right? Anything can happen in your day-to-day that you you can't always predict, right? And that's the one thing that's fun about being a human is if our life was too predictable, it would be boring, right? Think about the pandemic. If we didn't have these little incidences of things that could happen, I mean, I guess the ones I've explained are kind of a pain in the butt, right? Getting water and snow on you and dropping a whole thing. But there's other things that are fun, right? Someone could drop in and say hi to you, or a message could come in and you could have a really good call with someone, right? It's good and bad things that happen that change up your day, make things interesting. If not, we would be bored, right? We would be in a boring life. So that's how I look at things in life. I look at there's good and bad things that happen. And it doesn't even mean it's bad, right? There could be a reason why that olive oil spilled. Maybe it was rancid, or maybe, I don't know, right? Not always a reason for something happening. It just happens, right? And when it says there was this thing, does it always happen for a reason? I don't know. Did everything happen for a reason? I don't know. Some things I think just happen, but it is fun to think that way. And so you need to have a strong mindset. So I was doing an interview today with someone that is a really interesting guy. He is this person that he grew up in an orphanage in Ireland and, really went through some hard times, right? You're growing up in an orphanage, you don't know your parents, you have no idea who they are, and, it's a hard knock life in a sense, like Annie, right? It's not like super hard knock, but I'm pretty sure like the way he was describing it was pretty hard knock at that time, right? Growing up with nuns and monks looking after you, and just stuff goes on in the orphanage that's really not that great, like child abuse and stuff like that. And, he's doing great, and he's been a successful guy. And, I said, how did you overcome things? Like, you went through all this stuff, and yet you're a happy-go-lucky guy now, and many, many years later, right, decades later. And he said it was all about forward thinking, always thinking of, the future, and always thinking that this is going to pass, and always thinking like, let's look forward. Let's not look always at the situation and how bad it is. But also another thing he looked at was if he would be in a situation that he didn't like. He was saying at one point that he ended up having to go to this island when he was 15, and he was there and he was stuck there, and he remembers going there and someone else had been there for 10 years and they were just not in a good state. And he said, I don't want to be like that. I want to leave one day. And so it's almost like that contrasting of knowing that there's something in the future, but also realizing like, I don't want this, right? And not being okay with your surroundings, and not being okay with things that are the way they are, right? And it's really raising your standards. It's such a huge thing that we talk about in the personal development industry, is like, there's one thing of being happy where you are and happy where you're at, and that's a great thing to feel positive. You could have all the money in the world but not be happy. And if you're someone who's having a hard time and you're able to shift your mindset to positivity and forward thinking, you could be happy in that space. But then there's also the idea of, raising your standards and having a growth mindset, that once you get that positivity and once your mind is in the right place, right? Then from there you can say, where do I want to go to next, right? What am I looking for in my future? What is important to me? And how do I then raise my standards? So I'm happy, I'm in this situation, whatever it is, and I'm feeling like crap, right? Then the next step would be, let's get you feeling good, right? Good enough, right? You don't have to be, super, super happy. You just have to be happy enough that you're okay and you feel good no matter what. And then from there, you say, I'm going to raise my standards, and I'm going to then take it to the next level and do things to get me a better life and have growth. And I think that is the part that middle part is the part where our mindset can get tricky. So if you, for instance, have pretty much everything in your life that you like and you're happy with, and your day-to-day is good and healthy and well, and you're doing good as most people are, right? And not everybody is doing great, but I'm just saying, like, in general, in North America, we have a pretty lucky life, right? The amount of things that we get, the opportunities, the roof over our heads, that kind of thing, right? I'm talking about not everybody has it, but a lot of us do, especially if you're watching this right now. If you're watching this right now, you have access to a phone, you have access to the internet, right? That's pretty good. And so you can sometimes be in that space where it's good enough, right? You're happy, things are great, you're making good money, you have a relationship, you have friends, you have family, and you're in this space of, okay, I'm happy enough, right? And so it's really saying I then need to charge myself to have that growth mindset, to take that next level. And oftentimes we do stay in that middle place. And that's why you always hear those rags to riches stories, because it's usually oftentimes when someone has gotten down so low that then they raise up because they're like, I need out of this situation, right? But if you're having a pretty okay life, you're like, I'm happy with it, right? It's good enough. And so you're not really doing things to get yourself out of it. And so because it's good enough, right? But then you're like, okay, well, how do I move forward, and how do I get even better life? And that's where you have to raise your standards. And that's where you have to really shift things for yourself and get out of your comfort zone and realize, what do you actually want? What is going to be that next desire, or what is going to inspire you, and then take action from that. And really, it had a lot to do with looking at your vision and really focusing on, I'm here now, I'm happy now, but this is where I want to go, right? The future forward looking, and constantly being aware of that and constantly having that in your sights on a day-to-day basis, so that you can get inspired to change your standards, so that you can get inspired to get to that next level. And I think that it's recognizing that. So much of mindset is acknowledging and awareness and recognizing where you're at, and just having that sense of awareness of, this is where I've been. I haven't really been moving forward much. I'm just sort of in this space. Let me recognize that about myself. I don't have to make it mean anything bad or good. Let's just look at it with constructive criticism. It doesn't have to be like criticism. It can be just like look at it constructively and say, this is where I am. I've been in this position for a few months or a year or 5 years or whatever it is. This is a reality of my situation. Let's bring awareness to it. And then what do you want to happen, right? And that's where you start shifting and saying, I'm having awareness of this, and this is what I want. I got to look at my vision, and then having that mindset shifts of, who do I need to become to take action? Who do I need to be? How do I need to, what are the things that I need to do? What are the skills I need to learn? What are the habits I need, the disciplines I need to then get to that next growth level? But the first step is awareness. And the beautiful thing about mindset is every day you can reawaken that awareness. Every day you can say to yourself, okay, how have I been playing today? How have I been playing my game? How have I been upping my game, right? Have I just been coasting along, or can I recenter myself, look at where I'm at, and say, actually, I'm going to add this little habit here, or I'm going to include this new discipline here, or I'm going to take this next action here, or learn this new skill, right? So this is like such a simple mindset exercise that you can do daily. But if you don't want to do it daily, you can do it weekly, monthly, whatever. But the idea is just becoming aware of where you're at, so you don't just stay still. You don't just stay stuck in the okay. Because what happens is those big goals that you have, those big dreams that you have, you can keep them on the wayside. If things are going good for you, what's the point? Why would you do them, right? So this is like, I'm working on a course, and I've been talking about this for a while, but it's taking me a bit of time. But I will admit that there's some days where I've been like, oh, I can't be bothered to work on it today. I've got all these other things to do, and so you can lose your focus, right? You can lose where you're going, and so it's constantly being like, okay, let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. Don't forget about it. Let's get your awareness on your mindset. Why have you been taking these couple of days to be a little bit more lazier than ever, right? It's not a big deal either to just take those days to be lazy or not work or what you want to do, but you have to always see the big picture. And so I've been doing that the last week, is really constantly reinvigorating, constantly being re-inspired, like, okay, this is where you're at, this is what you want, this is how you're doing it, okay? Just, and it's baby steps. I'm not doing a ton of things on my course to like get burned out on it, right? I'm doing little things every single day to inspire me. Little things. Oh, I like this idea. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, right? It's going to get done when you do little things at a time like that. And listen, there's something about taking baby steps, and there's also the quantum leap, right? And you can choose how you want to work your business at that period of time in your life, right? So right now, I need to do baby steps for the course because I have a lot of other things on my plate. If I was solely focused on my course, didn't have clients, didn't have films that I was writing and thinking about doing, then maybe I would just focus only on the course. But this is one aspect of what I'm doing, so I have to do baby steps. I mean, I could do a quantum leap and some days do a whole bunch of work on it, but I know myself, and I find that if I do that, then I'm almost like, they take a period of time to get exhausted after. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like working on it. I've just worked too much in it, head down. So what I'd like to do is I do like to do little things at a time, because it's just like fitness or your health. If you do a little exercise or workout every single day, eventually that's going to add up. You don't exercise like 24 hours in the day, right? You do half an hour here, half an hour the next day, half an hour the next day, and eventually you start seeing your change in your body. And the same thing is when you want to get a goal accomplished. Eventually, if you never quit and if you keep working on something, it's going to happen. So that's all I have for today. Just a little bit of mindset reset for you, and how to think about it, and how to think about like your own mindset when you're maybe in the lull, or you're maybe in that place where things are great, but you want to go to that next step and you want to achieve something new. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in coaching with me, I would love to work with you. I basically focus on 3 things with my coaching clients: their intuition, their influence, and their innovation. So let me just break that down a little bit more for you. So the intuition part is really about your mindset and energy, and getting your mindset on board, getting rid of self-sabotaging behaviors and limiting beliefs, and really getting yourself out of procrastination, and really knowing yourself and your brain, and me helping you with that. So I know, okay, these are the things that you tend to do. Watching those and being aware of them when we're coaching. And then the energy part, right? The energy is really the embodiment piece, the piece of like, so that your mindset and your energy has to be on point to be able to do what you want to do, right? And the embodiment of it, the movement, the just really getting that energy so you're not tired. If you're tired, it's going to be hard for your mindset to be on track. And if your mindset not on track, it's going to be hard for you to have the right energy, right? So really working on those 2 pieces to really increase your intuition. The next part is your influence. So I really put influence as your marketing, your sales, your visibility, all the business activities that you need to do, the strategy that you need to do, the brand strategy, the marketing, all those things that are going to help you basically get clients, right? So obviously the energy and the mindset piece that increases your intuition is like kind of like the foundation, but really if you want to get the clients, you actually have to do some work, and that's the influence, getting your influence up on social media, getting yourself out there, being consistent, and knowing how to do that, and keeping you accountable, giving you some tools and tips and tricks I do, but also giving you an individualized approach to the way you sell and the way you market. I do both. I don't just do marketing. I do selling. I do selling as well, and I have processes for selling and ways to do outreach. You know, you don't have to do them. You can just do marketing, but I also like the 2-prong approach. I think it's really important. I think it really ups your influence and also helps you bring in money quicker when you're doing sales, because sometimes marketing takes a little bit more time once you implement and execute for it to show the results. And the last part is your innovation. So innovation is really with yourself and your creativity, your thought leadership, your ideas, and really embracing who you are, embracing the frameworks, the methodologies you have, your style, what you're all about, so that other people can see that. They can see your expertise, and you're constantly doing things differently. You're constantly innovating so that you are basically different than other people, right? And you're owning your gifts, you're owning who you are, you're owning your creativity, and really helping you like dial up that creativity and thought leadership. Because if you think about it, when you're putting yourself out there, there's so many other people doing the same thing, and you want to rise above that, right? And you want to be that diamond in the rough that people see and like, hey, you're the one I want to work with. And that takes skill, right? And that takes you to really understand yourself, understand your brand, but also understand that you want to be a creative being and showcase who you are, all the elements of you, all the uniqueness and quirks and stuff like that. And so my background is from the advertising industry as well as the entertainment industry, and I still do films and I write films and I put films out there. And so I've had so many years where creativity is what I've been immersed in. I think of myself as a creative person, and by using that creative muscle all the time, you're always coming up with new ideas. That's another thing though, is sometimes if you're creative, you have so many ideas that you're not really a finisher. You're really good at starting. And that is one of my things. Like, I've had to work really hard at finishing and completion and execution because I am such a creative spirit and such a creative person. I have like a billion ideas, and it's like, okay, like which one am I going to execute on? But you might be like that too. And so I'm going to help you execute on those ideas. And I'm going to help you like literally become a faucet of innovation, creativity, and thought leadership so that you own it. So if those all sound exciting to you, the intuition increase, the innovation, and the influence, definitely reach out to me. We obviously do a lot of other things, but that's sort of like how I put it into my own framework. And you can come up with your own framework, or you can do it together. All right? So definitely send me a message, reach out to me. I am here for you, and I would love to coach with you, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.